Mr. Kevin Jameson is a born salesman who demonstrated his future promise when he won the EECA Sales Presentation Award while attending our own Bucks County community. His entrepreneurial spirit has motivated him to start his own firm, which he developed and later sold. He then went on to work for very large companies such as Bosch, General Electric, and Honeywell. During his time at Honeywell, he was a 4-time winner of the Honeywell President's Cup Award and was named Salesman of the Year. Kevin grew worldwide sales of more than $1 billion of their shipped products that were shipped, but he still took time to walk on fire in Los Angeles with Tony Robbins. He ran with the Bulls in Pamplona, Spain, and he explored the Great Pyramids of Egypt. His sales drive was always evident, even during career breaks, when for brief periods of time he sold such diverse products as cars, mausoleum space, and frozen fish. Recently, Kevin gave up his corporate life to spend time caring for his family. This enabled him to launch the Dementia Society of America, a nationwide, all-volunteer, nonprofit dedicated to increasing the awareness in America for the broad spectrum of conditions which fall under the umbrella of dementia. We welcome Mr. James back to his alma mater, where the seeds for his entrepreneurial spirit were first sown. Please join me in a warm welcome to our speaker of honor this evening, Mr. Kevin Jameson.
Number one thing you learn in life is take control of the podium. First of all, thank you. Thank you, graduates. Thank you, family members, friends, members of the Board of Trustees, the Foundation Board, the faculty, the staff, the students, honored guests. It's a privilege to join the spirited class of 2016 on the 50th anniversary of this commencement here at Bucks County Community College. You are an amazing class, and I'll tell you why. I've spoken with a number of you over the past couple of weeks, and I have really been impressed. So let me tell you my story. 40 years ago, hard to believe, 1976, I first entered Bucks. And to graduate, I packed 2 years of college into 2.5. Now you may be wondering, why am I standing here in front of you today? That's a great question. An even better question might be, why are you sitting in front of me? In the next 2 hours, no, I'm kidding. About 10 minutes, I promise. We're going to explore the forces, both plus and minus, that brought you here today. But first, can I see a show of hands, who has ever played Connect 4? Anybody? Connect 4? Wow, okay, almost all of you. And there's an app for that, you know that, right? Okay, it's like, for those of you that don't know, Connect 4 is like tic-tac-toe on steroids. Okay? It's an upright board game, and it's for 2 people to play. And it looks simple, but it's hard to master. You drop your colored discs into slots, and you try to connect what? 4 in a row, right? Connect 4. One next to the other. It's simple, but not easy. Remember that. It's simple, but not easy. If you look in Wiki, everybody knows what a Wiki is, you'll find that you can gain an advantage and that there's a strategy to win. But if you don't know those couple secrets, then you're going to think that the game of Connect 4 is totally based on luck. And maybe it's just a school of hard knocks when you learn it. But if I told you that getting those 4 discs in a row is like life, that if you know 2 of the secrets of life, that can make a powerful difference. So in a moment, I'm going to share with you the secret powers of connections. So just remember, #secret powers. I was introduced to the concept of connected events or connections through a PBS TV show. We were just talking about PBS. And you guessed it, it was called Connections. It aired in 1978, the year that I graduated, where I almost sat with you. I have to say I didn't attend my own graduation. Sad to say. But what is a connection in life? From my vantage point, it's a coincidence, potentially. It's a decision that you made. Maybe it's a decision that somebody else made. But whether you realized it or not, it would greatly influence your future. These connections are not necessarily positive or negative. Rather, it's how you interpret those things that happen to you that moves you up, back, to the side, or away. In essence, they are what you make of them. Ask yourself, what chain of events or connections brought you to sit here today? For me, it was my mother. She was denied going to college. She said, I had to go to college. I didn't want to go. I wanted to work. I just wanted to get out there and make something happen. She goes, no, you're going to school. My parents were recently divorced. We had no money. Bucks was where I went. And quite frankly, some would say that the forces that pushed me here were not so positive. I don't know how it is with you. But however, like me, there are probably other more positive reasons you came to Bucks and stuck with it. They might include your family, your friends, co-workers, or maybe even professors. My professor in 1976, Blaine Greenfield, here we are, almost 40 years later, and he sits here in the audience with me. One of my biggest connections while I made the trip back and forth to Bucks was there was a housing boom. I saw all these houses being built. I also saw the price of gold going up. And I saw burglaries on the rise. And I said, wow, I can fill a void. And at the ripe age of 19, I started my own alarm company. But it all began upstairs on the second story of the library where they had the magazines. I opened Police Chief Magazine and found a list of suppliers and started my business from there. When you think about it, it's actually a series of interconnected events that brings you your present situation. Let me share with you the 3 secret powers that I believe your connections have. You own these secrets. Why? Because you come to today, you come to tonight with your own unique set of circumstances that brought you here. So, are you ready for the secrets? Secret power number 1. Connections are everywhere. We'll get to it. Number 2, connections are valuable. And number 3, connections can go viral. Let me take it through the first one. Look around, look around. That's what Eliza Schuyler sings about in the Broadway show Hamilton. Anybody heard of Hamilton here? Phenomenal, right? When you do look around, you can see the connections are everywhere. But Albert Einstein may have said it best. Fish will be the last to discover water. What did he mean? It means that people can look at situations and not see anything. But somebody who can look at their environment and see something and make a connection can make a difference. The second secret is they're valuable. How? Because you can leverage them. The oh crap failures along with the oh wow successes can not only benefit you, but they can benefit the greater good of society. Connections reveal their value. Think about it. They reveal their value when you learn from them and you act upon them. What went wrong? What went right? That's where 1 and 1 can actually equal 3, because you leverage the power of it. And the final connection, the third secret power is they go viral, or they can go viral. And everybody knows what going viral means, right? One person watching a YouTube video can turn into millions. How does that happen? It happens because connections are actually strung together, one to another, just like your heritage. Think about your long-lost grandparents 1,000 years ago. Don't think too hard. One might have gone straight, the other one might have gone left, but they didn't. They met somewhere in the middle of town, and they became your great lost grandparents. Think about it. You wouldn't be here today if that connection had not happened. That's a connection. Viral connections are also similar to the aphorism, the harder I work, what? The luckier I get. Said differently, the more connections I make, the more opportunities I find. Viral in a business sense can mean scalable. In other words, the cost to multiply your connections can be huge, or it can be small, but in the end, the benefits are overwhelming. When you scale something, the costs stay the same, but you can serve more people. Same is true with connections. You only need one of them and have a great idea or start a new direction. So let me go back to why I'm here. In part, it's because of one connection. It was 2 soda bottles that clinked together in the back seat of the car. And my wife ran through a stop sign. She was distracted. She ran through a stop sign and was T-boned by a car. Now, she was knocked out. She was knocked unconscious. And in those days, basically, it was back to work as usual. But for a couple of years, I noticed we were having problems. They were like marital problems, but I didn't understand why. And one night, we went out to dinner, and I said hello to the hostess by name. She goes, "How do you know her?" And I said, "Well, it was because from last time we were here. Last month we were here." She goes, "I've never been here in my life. You must have been here with another woman." I'm like, time out. Time out. But in time, we learned that she had a progressive dementia. By that point, I'd been pretty successful in business, but my priorities changed. I entered a new phase. I wanted to care for her. It wasn't what I expected, but I had to come to grips with it. And after 32 years together, she passed away. What brought me here was the unforeseen connection of 2 soda bottles clinking together in the back seat of the car. I retired early to care for Jane in her last year of life, and in that process, because she had had dementia, because I learned so much, I wanted to start something which we call the Dementia Society of America, and I wanted to help others in a similar plight. Who here has been touched by some form of dementia? Almost happened. Dementia is like cancer. Cancer is the headline. You have breast cancer, lung cancer, melanoma, leukemia. Dementia is no different. You have dementia, and then you have types of dementia. Alzheimer's, Lewy body, vascular, frontotemporal, and so on. Robin Williams is said to have died with Lewy body dementia. There's about 10 forms of dementia. But in fact, our latest project, which runs for 44 days, from Mother's Day to Father's Day, is to connect people's what? What is this? Fitness tracker. I wanted to do something where we could connect everybody together and walk across America. And tonight, I'm proud to say, as I walked up here today, we have exceeded 10 million steps across America. 10 million steps, but that's not our ultimate goal. Our ultimate goal is 36 million steps. That is still over 30. That's 16,000 miles. I would like your help. Go to stepcourage.org. Similar obstacles and opportunities that led me to stand in front of you today can also propel you forward. So I challenge you, unleash your secret powers. Make connections that others don't or won't. Make and understand the benefits and the value that you have in connections with others and with ideas. And finally, shepherd and grow those connections. Help them go viral. So graduates, go forth and make the most of your secret powers. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Jameson. May I ask Mr. Dancy to please join me at the podium? The honorary degree Doctor of Public Service was established by the Pennsylvania Department of Education as the appropriate honorary degree for community colleges to recognize individuals on the basis of meritorious service to humankind. Bucks County Community College is pleased to be able to present this award tonight.
The trustees of Bucks County Community College salute your accomplishments and bestow on you today the honorary degree Doctor of Public Service with all of its rights, privileges, and